Hello, Gun Nation. Let's see. Do we have any viewers out there yet?
Probably not.
It says 3 waiting. Probably us.
Why the hell? There it is. Okay, it came up, but it had to refresh.
All right. There we go.
Hey, there's KS.
Yay! All right. What a dick.
Hey, we've got a whole one. Yay.
They'll start coming.
Pops. What's up, Pops?
Hello, Pops.
Done.
Abaddon. Look at that.
Abaddon.
What somebody called us something the other day. It might have been CWB. I can't remember, but he said something like Pistola Maestros or something like that. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. Jesus is God. What's going on? Uh-oh. Another CZ convert. The Humble Marksman. What's up?
Yeah, there's Humble.
Pop's got a little clap going on, maybe.
Yeah, right. BM. Yes, this should be interesting, BM.
Yes.
I hope. We'll see.
Pops needs the cream. Vaselina. Uh-oh. You're already getting told stop yawning.
I can't help it. It's been a busy day.
I hear you.
CWB.
There's CWB. All right. Y'all want to get this party rocking? First, or go ahead, 17. It's your deal.
Ooh.
All right. So tonight we're just gonna, take your questions, obviously, like we always do, and then we're gonna bring up some issues that are occurring currently in New York State that are making it almost unbearable to actually go out and buy a pistol. And we'll talk about some other things. I know these fellers that I'm with have some things they like to say. So why don't we start with let's start with KS, because Big Johnson will take 20 minutes. So we'll start with KS.
I don't know. Mine might take 20 minutes this time. So, hi everybody. I definitely want everybody's opinion on this. I think everybody's going to have perhaps a different opinion. We're going to have two pretty clear sides of the fence here. But in one of my videos, it was a Glock 19 versus CZP-10C video. The debate was that I was taking not a stock Glock and comparing it to the P10. Now, the Glock that I featured, if you haven't seen that video, was a Vickers Glock. But my stance on that, and one other guy also chimed in and agreed as well, not to say that, I mean, great, but my stance was if it is out of the box, regardless of the version or edition it is stock, as long as it has not been altered after it came out of the box. Once it has been altered after it comes out of the box, then it's custom, or it's upgraded, or it's whatever word you want to associate with it. But in my opinion, a stock gun is whatever comes out of the box. So for example, like the P10C, it is a stock gun. Nothing has been done to it out of the box. The HK VP9SK, now this has the LE edition on it. I consider this still stock because nothing has been done to it out of the box. Then I have a Glock 19. It's the summer carry version. I put in a different trigger and different sights and some pins and all sorts of things. This is no longer a stock gun because I or somebody has touched it and done something with it. So it was a very interesting conversation. I don't know that there's a right answer, but I'm really curious to hear what all of you have to say. What defines a stock gun?
Well, like I was talking to you, KS, I think the Vickers, okay, reclassify this. On your Vickers edition, okay, they've done a Cerakote or a color.
Yep.
They've done night sights. And they've done a slide release, but actually you didn't add that. And they've added base plates.
Right.
Okay. Have they done anything with the trigger?
Nope.
Have they done anything with the barrel?
Nope.
Okay. What is not stock about that gun?
It all came out of the box the way it is.
From Vickers edition.
The Vickers edition. So I consider it stock.
Yep.
Yeah, I would agree with Mike because that makes no sense. I mean, if there was a trigger job on there, if you had a ported barrel, I could see it being considered not stock because it really has changed the gun. But the only thing on a Vickers is you get sights, you get the extended base pad or the base plate, right? You get the little plug with the takedown tool, and you get the RTF, which Glock had already made the RTF grip. So that's not, I mean, that's not aftermarket. I mean, that's stock. That is a bone stock, fancied up Glock. That's all it is.
Right, and I would make the same argument. You brought up the ported barrel. I would say that a Glock 19C is still a stock gun as long as you or a gunsmith or your grandmother has not in some way altered it and changed out components. Then it is no longer stock. That's how I see it.
Well, and then, you know, also think about it. If you take a Glock and then it's sent to Salient Arms, okay, that's not a stock Glock.
That's right. Now, I have to say, BM brings up a good point, and this was part of the argument, or not argument, the discussion that was had in this conversation in the comments. You're saying that a stock Shelby GT500 is still just a stock Mustang. You're saying that it's like saying that. In other words, I think you mean that it really is not a stock Mustang. To me, if it came from Shelby unaltered in any way, then it is stock. Now, if Shelby is considered an aftermarket company like Salient Arms, then it's no longer stock. But if you're getting a stock Mustang and it is the bone stock bottom of the barrel model versus the fully loaded from Ford version, to me, it is still a stock Mustang. It's a different version. You're getting different options put on it, but if it comes from the factory, then to me, it is still a stock, in this case, Mustang.
Right, and not only that, but a Shelby, it's got like 500 horsepower under a hood. So, I mean, the Mustang GT was what, like 3 and change?
Maybe.
So yeah, but here's the deal.
It's a stock Mustang, but that's something that's functionally different. The Vickers is not functionally different from any other Glock 19.
Right. Here's the difference, you know, when you're comparing cars to cars, okay? The Shelby is going to go to the Shelby area, and it will be tricked. The stock Mustang is going to go down the regular assembly line, you know, like the Vipers and things like that. So that, you know, in that comparison, they're changing the motor, they're changing the intake, they're changing the exhaust, they're changing everything to make it a high-performance vehicle where the other one is standard. So that's a whole different ball game. You know, you can't even get into cars because anytime you alter a stock car, you know, that's like somebody saying, oh, I bought this car and I changed the exhaust on it. That doesn't make it a race car. It's still a car with just exhaust added to it.
I'd say get a Jeep.
That's funny. And so, Abaddon, I think you summed it up kind of the way that at least I look at it. It sounds like the other panelists agree that stock is from the factory, regardless of what version it is. If it comes out of the box, you purchased it brand new, you unwrap it, it comes out of the box, it is stock, regardless of what is coming on it for that particular version. That was stock. As soon as you tinker with it to one degree or another, to me, it becomes not stock anymore.
But as we all know, you know, us as YouTubers, I mean, people are going to argue with a fence post. You know, I mean, so the only thing you can do is put that out there. And also, I mean, I specifically remember that video. You said, this is just a comparison. It doesn't mean this gun's better than this one or this one's ramped up and this one's not. It's just a comparison. That's all it was. So you weren't trying to say they were the same.
All right. So moving the topic, Big Johnson, you got anything you want to bring up that might be relevant to the discussion tonight?
Well, I mean, one thing I do want to push, because I think it's a great idea that Pops has, is on July 4th, any YouTubers out there or people who haven't done it before, I think you can make a video and just title it hashtag Let Freedom Ring, and then go out and shoot. Just even if it's old footage, whatever you need, just do it. Because, and we're going to set them up for 5 o'clock to be released at 5 o'clock on the 4th of July. And it'll just flood YouTube with Let Freedom Ring. So I think that's a great idea. I know that we did it last year and Pop set it up and it was a great thing. I mean, just everybody's videos were blowing out at 5 o'clock. So
that's awesome.
You know, we're trying to push, you know, we're trying to push the gun community. I mean, that's one way to do it.
Now we have an echo again.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Hey, well, we're dealing with an echo real quick before it flies by. Todd Stock, he's asking about the XDE and wants to know our thoughts on the XDE.
Do you mind if I go, guys? Or
go?
Well, I mean, I've held it at the gun store. It doesn't feel bad in the hand. They got rid of that stupid grip safety on the other XD models. But, you know, the hammer is the size of a boat anchor. And, you know, it's not, it doesn't have the greatest trigger for, I think it's a double action only, but it's not, I mean, it's nothing I would buy. I don't see why anybody would kind of spend that money on what I think is a dated type of gun.
Go ahead, KS.
I like the grip. I like the grip zone. I was certainly a fan of the Mod 2 grip zone, and whether it be the compact or the subcompact. So I like that feel of the grip. So I was excited that they put that on a single stack gun. I thought that was the right thing to do. Now I would have liked to have seen it, and perhaps this is still coming on the XDS, whether 9 or 40, 45, whatever. The XD I've never shot. I've handled it. It was a little bigger than I thought it would be. The whole footprint was a little larger than the XDS. But it felt good in the hand. Again, I attribute that to the grip. I like that grip, and the trigger was fine. Not my preference, perhaps. I would have to echo 17 and say it's not really on my to-do list, simply because if I'm going to do a hammer-fired gun, I might stick with maybe a CZ or something like that. But I like the idea. I like the approach of that.
Mm.
I mean, I think it's another offering, in my opinion. I think it's another offering, but I think it's outdated, just in my opinion. You know, the hammer just really throws me for a loop. I held that thing, and I mean, the hammer looks like a damn quarter hanging off the back of that thing. The trigger was okay. The grip was okay, but in my opinion, I think there are other better choices out there, just in my opinion. If somebody has one, I'm not beating them up for it. It's just my opinion.
And I think one of the big things, I know that Abaddon said he liked the grip safety. I don't really think a grip safety is necessary on that gun, particularly speaking. I really wish that Springfield would just do away with it completely. I think that would attract a lot more buyers to their handguns. Although, you know, with their recent, you know, PR nightmare, who knows? But, you know, I like the Mod 2. I had a Mod 2, you know, full size, and I also had the XD Mod 2 in subcompact, and I like them. They're great shooting guns. They're very comfortable in the hand. But I just, you know, to me, the grip safety is not needed. It's not a, you know, a hair trigger on it like a 1911. And I just don't see the relevancy of it. But that's just opinions. That's our opinion.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people like it because it has 4 safeties on it. But, you know, getting so used to it, I mean, way back in the day with 1911s, I mean, I grew up with my grandfather and, you know, shooting 1911s, and he pinned every one of his, you know, safeties on the back. They were pinned. You know, it's just, I don't care for it, especially on a small polymer gun. You know, and I know small 1911s have it, but just not a fan of it.
Now, it does have one thing going for it that's a little bit unique and certainly an attractive feature. It's got a very light slide pull. It's very easy to actuate. I've heard, at least I know Centerfire Shooting Sports, where I shoot, they said that's one thing that people have commented very positively on. It's very easy to make that gun work. So I applaud that. I think that's good. It's nice to have some options. I mean, there's some, especially smaller guns, even like cars and some of those guns that are good guns, but man, you got to be a bodybuilder to make those things work. They can have springs that are super, super tight.
Yeah. And, you know, everybody racks guns differently. You know, a lot of people try to just pull it, you know, and like everybody knows this, but if you just take a gun, you know, instead of pulling this, just push this, you know, just push your bottom hand, and it'll rack it for you. I mean, you know, my wife can rack them super easy like that, you know, and she doesn't have a lot of hand strength, but I think it's just, you know, being prepared with what you're working with. But you know, and also going back to some of those small like XDEs and stuff, they are heavy guns for what they are. I mean, there's a lot of weight on those little guns.
Yeah, I think KS brought up a good point that there are just much better options on the market. You know, the Shield, you know, the PPS M2, all great single stacks that are very easy to carry. They don't weigh a ton, and I just think they're more user friendly than, let's say, a gun that has a safety or something like that. But, you know, again, it's like, everything is based on opinion. You know, it is what it is. What are you going to do?
All right. Yeah, we all have different ones. That's what this is about. You know, we're just, people ask our opinion, we're giving it.
Now, I'm going to kind of change gears a little bit. I don't want to spend the whole time we have on here tonight on this stuff, but because this is more of a local issue for us up here in the Northeast, which blows, by the way. But right now I have 2 guns that are sitting in limbo. The Vickers that I talked about, and I also have another P10 that is on hold. And what's happening right now is the first time I had this issue, it took me 2 weeks to get my gun, or whatever. I had to go and pick up my gun because up here in New York State it's ridiculous. You got to go through like 32 steps to get a gun added to your license. And so it used to be you just go up to the sheriff's office, they give you your coupon, you go and pick up your gun. And now what has happened, because somebody screwed up in Orange County, now every county has to suffer because of it. And so what they've decided to do is make every judge in the county have to sign your amendment on your license now. So that's just creating a huge logjam for everybody. And right now in Ulster County, what went from, the same day went to 2 weeks initially. And now this new amendment that I'm getting on my pistol, it's now taking me 17 business days. And so it's crazy. I mean, we're on almost week 4 and still no idea what's happening, when it's going to be here. I have another gun that I need to add, and then another gun after that I need to add. So by the time everything works itself out, I mean, it could be August, by the time any of these guns actually arrive. And what I think is more ridiculous is that when you have these crazy states like California, they at least give you like a 10-day waiting period. So within those 10 days, you're going to get your handgun. In this case, there's nothing. You have no idea when that gun is going to come to you. And so I think it's just, again, another issue that they've created that should not be created. But, it is what it's going to be.
Yeah, no, that completely stinks. KS is he muted? Okay, he turned it off. Yeah, Todd Stock has 4 of them in limbo, 1776. They're saying 2 to 3 week wait.
Hey, Todd, what county are you in? I think you're in Dutchess, but I can't remember.
Yeah, he'll kick it back. But, that's the thing that I don't understand. We don't have any of those issues. I know KS doesn't either. This coupon thing and all this other stuff. And I mean, I understand California's got the 10-day waiting period, but you're right. I mean, having to just not know what the hell's going on, if the judge is on vacation or if he's, taking a 2-week coffee break or what the hell ever. I mean, that's just not right. And that's just another way for them to say, we're going to hold your guns. We're going to have control over your Second Amendment right. It's ridiculous. And you're a CHL holder. You've got a license. You're not just somebody off the street buying a gun. I do not understand that. I mean, like when I go ahead and fill out a form and I've got my CHL, they don't even run a background check. They don't need to. I've already had it done. You have too. So what the hell's the holdup? You in your situation should be moved to the front of the line. Period.
Yep. And then the problem is that even the sportsmen, the local sportsmen of Ulster County have gone up to petition, and they had something in committee up in the legislature, and they basically tabled it. So they killed it. And I know that Humble Marksman actually left a message on one of my videos, and he was saying that now they're trying to push for this thing where if you're going to buy ammunition, they're only going to allow you to actually buy, I think it was something like 20 rounds every 90 days.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
So dumb.
We shoot that in a minute.
I know.
You see my videos.
Yeah. And I was going to say, that I tell you what, that would be a hell of a time to start, and I saw that comment from him, a hell of a time to start reloading and just getting prepared or stocking up now. Hell, I wouldn't put money towards guns. I'd put money towards ammo, and I'd start stockpiling that shit in your area.
I know. And who knows where it's going to go. I mean, right now, I don't think they're going to pass that, but I think it's going to be interesting.
It's remarkable the different areas of the country, different states, and how they treat this. Pops brought up a good point, and Pops were the same way, I think, as the Carolinas. If you have a CCW, you still have to fill out your form, but as long as it's a valid CCW, you're done. You fill out the form, you walk out the door, pay for the gun, and you are done, which is absolutely fantastic. You don't have to wait around for them to call in anything or whatever. It's great.
And also, like you have to get a coupon for each gun. I can walk in, and I've done it before, bought 4 guns, filled out one form because it's one purchase, all on the same ticket, and walked out with 4 guns. I could walk out with a truckload of guns if I wanted to on one form. That's what's so freaking ridiculous.
I know my local FFL, he was telling me they actually spoke with the judge who kind of pushed this idea because, they hadn't been following the quote unquote law for years. And now they're, adhering strictly to it. But he basically said, this is a way for New York to control the crazy people from having too many guns. So my friend's response was, well, what does that mean? Like, who's crazy? What does that mean? How many guns you need to have? So he went and told him that he has, like, I think something like 75 pistols on his license. So does that mean a guy like him? So the judge right away said, no, it doesn't mean you, but you understand what I mean. And he said, actually, no, I don't. So, I mean, it's just this way to control the gun right. Rational argument. It's not, because none of this that they're doing is stopping anybody from committing crimes. It's not.
Yeah. Right. No, right. It's not. It's keeping guns out of good people's hands. That's right. It's just a gun system. They're just trying to monitor what the hell it's a control deal. Strictly right. Control. It's ridiculous. And I don't know what you can do to change it. I know you can write everybody there, but everybody there,
yeah.
not you.
They've tried.
They've
gone up and met with the, the New York State Senate, and every time they push a bill, it winds up dying in chambers because they just table it. So nobody ever goes back to it. And then, of course, the Republicans throw their arms up in the air and say, well, what are you supposed to do? How are we supposed to fix this? But, I mean, it's really a shame, man, what happened up here. It really is. It's totally different than it used to be, in my opinion. But it's sad. It is really just so sad.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that ammunition law does start. There's probably some truth to that. I really would, if I were you, I'd start loading up on ammo. Because, you just never know. Let's see here. Oh, the Realize is in.
Realize.
Lies.
Let's see here. Hang on a second. Pull up some stuff. Or y'all can go ahead. I mean, I'm just looking at something real fast.
Porn?
No. No. One thing that has been brought up, and I know that we go away from it sometimes, on these chats, is 45s. And I know that myself, KS, we've been asked why no love for the 45s. I love 45. I mean, I own, well, not several. I have more 9mm, but I have enough of 45, and I really do like them. My preferred is 9mm and 45. So I wanted to show some love for the 45s because we've been asked many times, why do we not like 45s? I love 45s. That's my opinion. So what about you, KS?
I heard the whistling. I like the 45 too. I like the 45, but in certain circumstances, I love a 1911. I think 1911s are great. I've owned quite a few over the years. I don't have any in the collection right now, but I've always had quite a fascination with 1911. So shooting a 230 grain hardball out of a 1911, a full size 1911, is a ton of fun. Generally speaking, as the guns get smaller and as they get maybe polymer, I'm not quite as much of a fan of a 45, although the exception to the rule for that with me would be the Shield 45. It impressed the hell out of me, and it's a sweet little shooter considering how small it is. But by and large, I love 45s, but I want them in a big, in a big gangly 1911.
Yeah, the only 45 I've shot was that Baby Desert Eagle 3. Shot really nice. I really enjoyed shooting it, but I still am a firm believer that 9mm is still, in my opinion, a worthy round to use as a daily in self-defense, especially with the modern ammo that we're using. Everybody's saying, oh, well, it doesn't have enough stopping power. Well, you guys have been watching, I think, too many movies, man. It's not like you're going to hit somebody with a 45 and they're going to fall back 10 feet. Unless you're shooting them square in the chest with a shotgun, I don't see that happening. But I'm a fan of the 9. I like the 9s. I've shot 40s. I actually owned a 40, and I also drink 40s. But one of the things about the 40, to me, it's a waste of money. Some people say it's the best in between version of the 9 and 45, but for me, I'm comfortable with the 9, and I just think for me, it's what I choose to use. Not saying that I wouldn't buy a 45, but I probably wouldn't shoot it much. And what's the point of that?
Yeah. And I mean, there's, like I said, with the modern ammo, that used to be the big argument back in the day. We all know that, but I think that's pretty much down the road motors now.
Yeah.
So
I got this Vickers coming in. I'm a little bit iffy on it. I'm not gonna lie, and the reason being is because I went in, held a Gen 3 Glock. I prefer Gen 4s, but that's me. I just feel like the grip is a little bit slimmer than a Gen 3, and I do like having those back straps. But one of the things that I had noticed on the Gen 3 was, and it was always done this, it just chews up my hand. And so I tried to lower my grip to see if it felt comfortable. So I wound up buying one of those little stupid, beaver tails that don't extend all the way down for it. I forget who makes them. And I just got them today, but I don't have the gun, of course.
Right.
However, I'm hoping that'll work for it because, I'm a little iffy if it's actually going to work.
So you're going to take it out of its stock mode.
I'm going to make it aftermarket with a beaver tail so it shoots better.
Souped up.
Man, that's crazy.
And then I'm going to put sights on it. So. Oh, I don't need to put sights. That's right. It comes with sights. What am I thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I think you'll enjoy it. I don't think you need to be, a little weird about it. I mean, when you get it, of course, you're going to know. But you've shot Glock before.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's going to be a big deal for you.
Yeah.
And see here. Oh, I got a new shot timer.
Nice.
Trying to figure out how to work the damn thing.
Right.
Cool.
I don't really think it's going to be that hard once I start playing around with it, but the old one I used to have had the little, all the little information on it, so it would tell you, hey, push this, push it. I mean, it was super easy.
Yeah.
This thing has no information on the front. There's no words on it. There's just 4 buttons. But as far as setting the part time and all that other stuff, it comes. Here's your instructions. Just a folded up piece of paper. So
just fart around with it.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. But when I press the button and it beeps, my dogs just go shit crazy. So, because it's freaking loud.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd kind of been looking at this one for a while, and
the other thing that I actually did was I took a piece of or a page from Big Johnson, and I actually wound up getting some stainless steel guide rods from SS Guide Rods, and I got one for the PPQ and the PO1. So I'm going to go shoot those and see how they actually feel. If there is that, noticeable difference between the muzzle flip, I'll actually bring both PPQs, and we'll see. Thanks, Wicked. Fuck you too.
Yeah. In my PO1, there's one in there. There is a stainless guide rod. I can't really tell the difference. I have both of them, so I'm going to switch those back too. And I do have the test. Everybody's been asking for the PPQ and the PO7 to put the stainless guide rods in them. I've been trying. I'm going to get to the range. I'm going to do that test and film it all, so that way everybody can see. And I'm just going to leave the camera going, and we're going to be able to tell if there's truly a difference, because I don't know myself. And I'm excited to see if it's going to work on the PPQ like I hope it will.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. But for, the PO1 right off the bat, I couldn't tell, but it just has the guide rod. It doesn't have the spring assembly on the PO1. You're just using your stock spring. So
right.
I don't know if it added probably a little weight, but I don't know. So, see, you guys got any other questions?
Yeah, open it up to the floor.
Yeah, well, Chris actually said he has the Vickers G19 and he loves the RTF2 frame. Not sure why they are more widespread.
I think they make pretty limited runs of those.
I that one there was only 2,500 made. If I'm not mistaken.
Something like that. I mean, I might see a dozen Vickers guns throughout the entire year at Centerfire, and they're a Glock dealer. They just they get what they can and they sell them immediately, and that's it.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm excited. I'm glad to be getting a Glock again, but I'm hoping they it lives up to its reputation.
Yeah, as far as, let's flip this a little bit. Do you guys have shotguns? Or what's your feelings on shotguns?
Yeah, I own shotguns. I used to compete with shotguns. I've got a couple of Benellis and 120 and 212 gauge, and they're great. And then I've got an old Remington 870 pump, just kind of a beater. But they're good guns. I don't really shoot shotguns very much anymore. I spend all my time on handguns. But shotguns are fun, man.
Yeah, I mean, I love shotguns. I've got several of them, and but going to an indoor range and shooting a shotgun it's not fun.
Right.
People look at you like you're freaking crazy. So I like to go out in the country and shoot them and stuff like that. That's why I don't really have any vids. I think I've shot a shotgun one time on a vid. And I actually, I've got Brownings and, I don't have a Benelli, but I've got a bunch of Wingmasters. I collect the old Wingmasters and I really love those. They're great rifle or great shotguns, but I'm really thinking that I might grab one of those Shockwaves.
Nice.
I'm really, really thinking about it. I'm on a list for one, but man, when they released them to Texas and said they could sell them finally, which was only like 3 weeks ago, man, they put them on the list, boom, they're gone. But I'm definitely, and I know that Baldwin Curious has one, but really, really thinking I want to get that.
I'd like to get one too, but I'd probably be able to pick it up in February of next year.
Right.
Well, Bald said he got his pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. He was telling me the other day, I was texting him, and he was telling me he's got like, I think 3 or 4 guns that have been sitting for over a month. So.
Oh yeah, he told me the same thing. Yeah, I remember that. And that's crazy.
Yeah, I have a Maverick 88 and a 598
The Maverick 88 is super underrated. I have one too, and I've just went out and farted around with it, and hell, I even took it pheasant hunting one time and I outshot the guys I was with their high-end shotguns. So I mean, it's just I beat the crap out of that thing, and you can't tear it up.
Nice.
Chris said he just bought a Ramey and a PO1. After looking at the PO1 forever, my local shop had both. When I went in to look around, should I keep them stock? Any suggestions on inside waistband holsters?
I mean, holster-wise, there's tons of things available. Anything from Vetter. I mean, you can look at that 2A holsters I did a video on. That's for my PO1, and I like it. It's got that felt backing and the adjustable clip. There's a lot of good choices. A lot of good choices with the holsters. To keep them stock, I mean, that's ultimately going to be up to you. You can put like a hammer spring in there and keep it that way. And I think it reduces maybe 1 pound. But then you'd need a whole trigger kit, or not a trigger kit, but a spring kit if you want to drop it down another couple of pounds. But it's up to you. I mean, you can get their ultimate carry and send it off to like Cajun Gun Works, and I think it's something like $250 to get it done. So it really is about your budget. If you can afford to do it, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also, as far as the PO1 for the inside waistband holster, I just got these. Just did a video on these. From Mid-Atlantic Holsters, and man, he does a great job. And they were like $28 with free shipping, $29. And I mean, it's .08. I mean, it's really nice. And I've got a video on that, Chris, if you want to check it out. I know 17's ordered one. Some other people have ordered them. So hell of a deal. And it fits really nice. On the Ramey, I actually looked at a Ramey last week because I just really wanted to put my hand on them again, because now that I've got the PO1, I tell you what, the Ramey, literally, I can't even get 3 fingers on it. It is so tiny. I mean, I do good to get 2 on it. It's really cool. I love it. I mean, I think it's awesome looking, but it's just way, way too small for my hands. But I think it's a great pistol. I've never heard anything bad about them.
A little too small.
Yeah. I mean, I just prefer, the PO1 is going to be the smallest I get. Realize is asking thoughts on the new Glock. And then Wicked is saying summer Glock with a question mark.
All right. So if you guys don't mind, I'll take this one.
I'm telling you.
This is the new summer Glock.
Hold that up, bitch.
Hopefully you can see it. Okay, stop.
Oh, put it up to the camera, man.
Oh, for God's sake! Yeah, it's gonna be hard to see this. See if I can capture it in any sort of light whatsoever. But basically, it's a Glock.
Well, what's with the stainless barrel, man? That's not stock.
Well, no, that's not so. Fuck off. So it does have front and back slide serrations. It has a slightly different mag release than the regular Gen 4s, extended mag release, that sort of thing. But it otherwise is a stock Glock. Now, it did come with steel field goal sights. Ridiculous. I hate the field goal sights, whether they're plastic, steel, uranium. I don't care what they are. I took them off immediately and put on some Trijicon HDs. But I like the forward serrations are pretty cool, certainly usable. And for Glock, that's pretty revolutionary for them to actually change the slide on that at all. But that's I guess they're calling it the summer Glock or whatever. And I don't think they are going to continue to do that. I have not picked up that that's going to be a permanent Glock, which makes no sense to me. They have the machining for it now. They should just do it on all of them. I don't understand that, but whatever.
Now, do you think it's worth getting if you have a Gen 4 already?
I guess that's up to you. If you have a good Gen 4 that runs, no, probably not. If you just like Glocks and want a different Glock, sure, why not? But I don't know. I can't really answer that.
Right? Any price difference?
No, it was basically the same price as a regular Gen 4, a little bit under an MOS.
Yeah, I actually saw them in the gun store when I was in Abilene looking at that Checkmate, and they had just gotten them in, and they had one with the steel gold pulse type on it, and then they had two with actually night sights from Glock on them. And the price difference wasn't that bad. I mean, they were like $20, $30 higher maybe for night sights, so it's really not a bad deal. And I held it, and I mean, it still feels like a Glock to me, but it did have the front serrations, and but I mean, I think they're going to sell them. Hell, they'll sell them.
I think they will too. The steel sights. I mean, I have to give Glock some credit. We have a lot of us on YouTube, and a lot of you guys as well in your comments and whatever have been even as Glock fans, and I'm a Glock fan, have been sort of criticizing Glock because there are a lot of other manufacturers that are I guess innovating or changing, or whatever word you want to use. Maybe it's not innovating, whatever. They're trying different things, and they're putting different features on, whether it be the 320 or the P10C or Walther, whatever it is, and doing things like steel sights with the exception of Walther, doing front slide serrations, doing different types of grips, things like that. And Glock has stuck to pretty much the same format. Now, I also have to admit that Glock found a format that worked, and people bought into it very well, and it worked, and they have done extraordinarily well. In fact, kind of got into an argument with a commenter about that. That's a story for another day, but it's pretty remarkable that Glock is saying now, let's put some front serrations on, let's put some steel sights, even though they're the same crappy sight lineup, in my opinion. They're doing some different things. Maybe that's a sign of maybe more changes coming from them. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and I've said this in the video, and I'll bring this up. This thing is crazy. This is that, PS orange wheel. Y'all probably already seen it. But anyway, when you rack this thing, rack's fine. But then you try to put up this safety, and normally on 1911s, I can just flip them with my thumb. I tell you what, you literally have to grab this and pull it up. I mean, the detent is now it goes down easy, but trying to pull it up, there's absolutely no way. And then, you can take this Tanfolio and even my other CZs, you can just flip them all day long. And I do not understand why that damn detent is so freaking tough. But it is, and I've been sitting here working on it and flipping it and doing all kinds of shit to it, and it's not changing it.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad you brought up that P10 KS because, I like the P10, but I find it to be a very frustrating handgun. And, uh-oh, did we lose everybody? There you go, sorry. And the only reason why I'm saying that is not because it's a horrible shooting gun or there's really anything, functionally wrong with it, but, the holsters, I'm finding here and there bits and pieces of holsters that are available, but nothing that, in my opinion, would make me go out and spend $60 on just a plain old Kydex holster. And then I think the thing that's bothering me also is the night sights issue.
Right.
It's still no aftermarket. I mean, yes, they have them at CZ Customs. I understand that, but I'm not paying $160 for just you know, a 3-dot tritium setup. I'd rather find something that's a little bit better and pay that money, like a set of HDs or something like that.
Right.
But I just find that that gun to me is very frustrating because, you know, and I like CZs, you guys know that, but I find that once again, just in my opinion, I feel like CZ dropped the damn ball on this gun. Because, you know, they pushed it, and it doesn't seem to be, again, first of all, availability is limited still. Aftermarket is limited still, and I just find that to be extremely frustrating as a P10 owner.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see sight options. We might not see a lot of other aftermarket support for a while. We'll see some holsters. That might be slow going, but I think there's still enough hype around this gun, even though it's died. We all know it's died a bit. I think some sight manufacturers, maybe not all of them, but probably the bigger ones, you know, Trijicon or Ameriglo, I think some of those guys will come out with some sights. If they are smart, they'll come out with some sights. I mean, hell, it can't be that big of a deal. I would think they would.
Well, yeah, I mean, we all know what the original plan was, you know, to have the night sights on the FDE. And then that all blew up, and I know a lot of people pre-ordered them with knowing that.
Right.
And then to say, hey, you're going to get night sights for just a little bit more, go ahead and pre-order it, and then your gun comes in and it doesn't have it. That is a little false to me. You know, they didn't meet the expectation. And I know that something fell apart there, but they should say, hey, your gun was supposed to come with it, so, you know, we'll ship them out after the fact, and, you know, you pop them on or something. They should have done something on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to do that. they're not going to do that.
Yeah, and I know what you're getting about, you know, availability of aftermarket sites eventually hopping up. But I mean, if you look at the other, if you look at the other CZs that are available, you know, the PO1 especially has been around forever. You know, the PCR, a lot of their bigger 75s. There's just not a lot out there even for those guns, and those guns have been out longer.
Right.
So who knows?
I think Big Johnson froze.
Did he?
Or he's just really.
I'm gonna try to put his face up on the screen. Hold on. No, I can't get him. He's gone. Oh, hey, now he got his holster. Unbelievable.
Oh, okay. You're supposed to get some sort of protein shake?
Yeah, I guess Wicked is saying that I need protein. I figured it's because he's anorexic, so he needs the additional calories and stuff. I don't know. And then Pops is saying that CZ is too busy building real guns. I agree, they're great guns, but, you know, a little bit of support would be nice. A little bit. So he got, oh, is he coming back? Let's see. He's rebooting. Technical glitch.
That's always the way with us, you know. Wicked, you were saying turn your 19 into an 18. Come to Kansas, man. Centerfire's Class 7. They'll tune it for you. They'll make it nice and fun. Wait a minute, what is he saying now? Oh my God! Don't repeat that one.
Oh shit! That's funny.
Wicked, what would we do without you?
Hey, Wicked, you'd be a great firefighter, man. You'd get along with everybody very, very well.
All right, do you have to invite him back? What's the deal?
I have no idea. Should I invite him back? Should I do that? No, let me invite him back.
Ray, you're absolutely right. When he's home, he is off his game. No doubt about it. But is he ever on his game? Define game. Anybody have any questions or anything else they want to talk about? Revolvers. Yeah, we haven't talked about revolvers yet. Wicked wanted us to talk only about revolvers.
Revolvers.
Yes.
Do they still make them?
Yes, Glock revolvers. So we need to talk about that.
Oh, Wicked, you were a firefighter, huh? Now I know where you get your humor from.
Yeah, right.
So I don't really have shit to talk about, guys. I'll be honest with you. I'm so freaking pissed off right now because I should have new guns in front of me, and I don't. But it's all right. You know, I got plenty of guns. I don't need more, I guess. But You know, the only other thing is in regards to a gun I actually just sold, which is kind of weird. I actually just sold my Steyr S9. And I'm saying Steyr because somebody asked me a question on one of my videos as to why I say Steyr and not Walther when I talk about the Walther compared to the Steyr. So my explanation of that was that I speak better Austrian than I do German. But nonetheless, I sold the S9. You know, I like my M9 a lot better. It just fits what I need it for. And I'm just kind of reading Ricketts stuff. He says he was a fire brigade for the plant, worked at a nuclear plant. That's cool. That's a tough job. Oh, hey, Ray, I just want you guys to know again that if you get a chance, check out gunguy.com. Thanks, Ray, for reminding me. I almost forgot that. You know, he's a good dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was a fireman down in Florida, good old Florida when I was there in Pinellas County. But yeah, man, you know, I actually sent another invite to Big Johnson, but he might be having problems, you know, figuring out how to turn his computer on again. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. He hasn't texted me yet. He hasn't emailed me an emoji of his middle finger or his nutsack or something like that.
Right, right.
Who knows?
All right, so your Steyr, whatever.
Yeah, it's gone, man. It's gone. You know, it's a great gun. I love it. I absolutely love them. But for me, you know, now that summer's coming in, it just, you know, I really like carrying the PPS on the summer months. And in my opinion, the M9 is as concealable as the S9. So again, if it's not something I'm going to use often, it's got to go. So yeah. It is gone. But like I said, I've got two waiting. I've got a third one at some point at the end of this month, which probably would mean that by probably December I'll have that one. So I don't know. Then Pops gets me, why do I sell so many guns? I sell many guns because I have too many, and sometimes I look inside the safe and I say, what am I doing? Why do I need all these guns? And honestly, I'd rather start spending some money on doing some custom stuff to some of them, trick them out a little bit, better triggers, that kind of stuff. You know, I actually want to put in an Apex flat face trigger for the PPQ, stuff like that. You know, just random stuff. Maybe save some money to buy a press since I'll be limited to 20 rounds every 90 days. So,
right.
You know, stuff like that.
Feel Eyes was talking about holding a PPQ and a VP9 the other week. He loved the VP9 grip. The PPQ felt good, but the front of the grip felt a little uncomfortable. Thoughts?
Well, we know 17s. I've never owned a VP9, but I have a PPQ now. And when I was with you, I took your VP9 and held them against my PPQ. And I like the VP9. It felt really nice. But right under that trigger guard, there's one little rounded piece of plastic there. And I could, you know, take that off. But it kind of got up under my finger a little bit and rubbed. But, I mean, I think they're both great guns. It's whichever one you're going to prefer. I like the size. The VP9 feels a little bigger. But, hell, when I matched it up and you saw it, the PPQ was actually the same as the VP9. So it's just, I guess – the assumption was that it was a bigger gun, but
right.
I think it comes down to whichever one you like.
17.
You know, I like the PPQ. You know, VP9 is a great gun. Excuse me, but you know, for me, the PPQ always worked better. That's just an opinion, though. You know.
Okay. And I would vote for the VP9 all day long. I like them both. I think they're both great. The ergonomics are fantastic on both. I shoot the VP9 better. For whatever reason, I don't think one has more flip than the other or anything like that. I just shoot it better. So
well, and you bring up that point. The thing I do like about the VP9 is that it does shoot flatter to me just out of the box. But also, I like the trigger reach on the VP9 for a big-handed person, long fingers. You know, the VP9 breaks right in the middle where the PPQ pulls all the way back. I do like that part of it. You know, the trigger, I do like the trigger. I think the PPQ is a nicer trigger, but I do like the reach on the VP9.
Yeah, I mean, it's you can't go wrong with either guns. I mean, they're both fantastic firearms.
Right.
I mean, anybody who badmouths either one of those guns doesn't know what they're talking about. I think for me, the VP9 was nice, but for whatever reason, I just never felt really, I don't know, I just didn't like shooting it. It's weird. That's the best thing I can say. It's sort of like I felt the same with an M&P. I just never liked it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
And I think the VP9 really should hold 17 rounds from the look of it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but that's just, you know, they have room to stuff 2 more rounds in that pistol.
Right.
Jeff Smith saying VP9 versus P30. I've owned both. I've had a P30, just the regular was a V3, and then I've had the SK, which was a V1. That's their LEM version. They're both exquisite guns. The P30, if you want top quality polymer, the P30 is probably the way to go. But it's double action, single action to one degree or another. So you're not getting the striker fire. Now, is one better than the other? No, not necessarily. It's whatever you're after. But so both are great guns, but they do different things. If I could only have one, I would do the VP9. I like striker better, but the P30 is a brilliant firearm. It really, really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I forgot what I was going to say. Oh well.
Well, Pops said he hates M&Ps, but he's never held one. I mean, I actually really like M&Ps. Their triggers, now their newer triggers are better, but you know, Apex can fix those really quickly. And yeah. I definitely like them with Apex.
Yeah, I mean, the M&P is not a bad gun. I still don't like the 2.0. I actually held one the other day at the gun shop, and I still just was not fond of that trigger on that damn thing. One of the things I did want to bring up was Rich 4150 has that P250. That is one gun that I still would like to own because it has an extremely smooth double action trigger on it. I think it's probably one of the smoothest that I've ever felt in pulling the trigger. And for me, I would like to own that one day if I can find it with night sights.
Yeah.
Okay, well that brings up. Well, Rich just got night sights on his, but that brings up a valid point. Your P250 or your Creed.
Ooh.
That's good.
Oh shit. Well, I'll tell you right now, the P250 feels well because it's a 320. But the feel of it is much nicer than the Creed. I think the problem with the Creed is it's still a little too bulky, but it's basically an upgraded PTX. I like the Creed. The trigger's freaking great, but you don't have the double strike capability on it, which I think is a downer. The trigger's really smooth, very light, but I would probably pick the P250 over the Creed.
Interesting. Yeah, I was curious, and I've checked out the 250. I think it's a very nice pistol, and you can get some good deals on them sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, I think it's a great, but I know you got a smoking deal on your Creed too, so that's when I was just thinking, because the Creed, you know, we really don't talk about that much. I know I've played with them in gun stores. I've never personally shot one, but trigger feels nice on it. It is a little bulky though.
For what you can buy it for, to have a full-size gun that you can, use at a range, to really, really to develop a certain amount of skills while shooting, I think that's a great purchase. It's cheap, it's affordable, it's reliable, and it shoots very flat because of the weight of it. But would that be a gun that I would say is something I'm going to carry with me every day? No. Is it something you throw in the truck? Yeah, maybe. I have it next to my bed because it's actually my home gun. And I know some people had asked me, why would I pick that of all the guns that I own? Why would I pick that? And, frankly speaking, the slide is extremely easy to rack. The trigger is extremely light, and there's not a lot of felt recoil. So if I'm not home, then, the wife would have to use it. So that's one of the reasons why I have it in there.
Sure. Yeah, let's see here.
I've never shot either one. I have no experience with either one.
Yeah, it's probably not something you want to buy. For me, I just got a ridiculous deal on it, and I said, all right, that's too good to pass up. And because I'm a Walther fan, I was like, all right, let's see what it's all about. And I've been happy with it. I don't have any complaints about it, but I also went in knowing that it wasn't going to be my primary gun, that it was going to have a job for it, and that was it.
Yeah, and then Mateo's in the house.
What's up, Mateo?
One little thing I wanted to bring up, and I wanted to get y'all's opinion. Okay, so we all carry, or us three carry. You know, I know a lot of our subs do. If you're carrying, and you go up to a place that says no guns or whatever, what do you do?
I'm not saying what I do on camera.
Yeah, no. No comment. I will tell you that. First of all, if let's say I'm going into a post office, well, because it's a federal building, I probably wouldn't want to get caught with that in there. But like our local mall here has a sign in the Macy's window saying no guns allowed, and so I just said, you know what, I'm not taking my gun off. Fuck Macy's. And the way I look at it is, what's the worst thing they're going to do? Tell me to leave? Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't know how it is in your state, but in Texas, if they have a 30-06, that's basically they can just ask you to leave. As long as you're not doing anything stupid with it. But if they just say, hey, you need to leave, then I would. But I've never been asked to. I was just curious if what y'all thought about that.
And my only thing is, my only fear up here, being in the communist state of New York now, is having somebody alert the police because they see me printing. That's really the only worry I have. I mean, I try to do my best to conceal. And it's very difficult to see me printing anything. But my concern is always that somebody will see it and right away they'll call 911. Next thing you know, they'll be throwing me on the ground, beating the shit out of me. And I'm a licensed carrier, and then they revoke my license. But what's the likelihood of that? Probably zero, because nobody pays attention to anything anyway.
Do what I do. Carry a gun that'll fit in a Tic Tac box. And, I saw that comment the other day.
Your Derringer?
That's my sling, my rubber band that I can fling at someone.
Okay, I made the comment that KS carries his gun in a Tic Tac box, but hey, it is what it is. Oh, Paradox is in the house too.
Yeah, sorry, man. We did it at 8 tonight. The reason why we've been moving times is because I've had a lot of scheduling issues lately. I've been really just ridiculously busy. And so, we started a little bit earlier tonight. I mean, it really depends. I would like to know what these guys think. Is it better to start at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, or would you prefer 8 Eastern, 7 Central? I know that KS has a bedtime because he has to drink his warm milk around 9:30.
That's right.
But I'd like to know, because I do want to get this consistent where we're here a lot, and of course obviously have the chat grow. And hey, Jay Greg.
Mateo.
Yeah, we've got some comments. Mateo says 9. CWB either works. Humble Marksman says 9.
8 Eastern.
8 Eastern.
8:30. You always gotta be difficult, Pops. God damn it.
Oh, Rich says 9:12.
9:12.
1800
30 seconds or 55 seconds here.
Let's see. Realize has Apex full trigger kit, Big J, or just the trigger from M&P to make the trigger? I guess he's asking. Realize is asking about the M&P. And matter of fact, I put it in mine and started running it. I told CWB about it. He put it in his M&P 9C, and I if you go on a video, I've got a video where I actually put the part number on there, but I gave it to CWB too. If he still remembers it, he can type it on here. But it actually turns your M&P trigger into a 1911, so it comes with the full trigger assembly and all the springs. And it's really a great kit. I mean, I even just did a video on it. I hadn't shot that pistol in over a year. I never even shot it on video till I did the live one. And man, at like 10 yards, I was putting up a hell of a group with it. It's just a great shooting pistol. That trigger really changes that whole pistol.
Yeah, and KS, what do you recommend? Because I am going to start doing some stuff to guns that I own. But what would you recommend as your top trigger drop-in for the Glock 19?
You can't go wrong with Zeb. They do a good job, but they are really expensive. Overwatch I've had pretty good luck with. They're not as light as some other ones, but they feel really good, and they're in P3 coatings, so they're always slick, and they clean up very easily.
Yeah,
I've heard good things about Apex. I've never tried one. And then what is it? CMC or whatever, the one that does a lot of AR triggers. They just started doing them, but they are also really expensive, really expensive. So I vote for Overwatch. I think they do a great job. But there are a lot of good manufacturers out there.
Yeah.
I realize.
Yeah, and then, Wicked is saying Apex, and then Humble's saying Zev. I guess Zen had a recall or something. I don't know, or Zev had a recall.
Really? On which trigger, Humble? I'd be curious about that. Be very curious, actually.
Yeah, and then did y'all see the comment here? Mateo is saying the new Taurus TS9 coming out soon. It's sort of a Walther P99 and a Canik TP9.
Yeah, I just pulled it up online. You know, it's kind of interesting looking. The grip looks pretty damn cool. It's got an adjustable back strap. I guess what do they have? I guess they have a compact and a full size. That's pretty sweet.
Can you flip it around and show us, or show other people?
I'll try to do that now for you.
I don't know how well it'll show up, but
fuck. Hold on.
I was just curious, you know.
Now I just lost it. God.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't know if I'd buy one, but it looks pretty cool. I will tell you that you know, Walther's going to be coming out with something. Let's see if you guys can see that. You might get some glare. How does that look?
Is that the Taurus?
Yeah, that's the new TS9.
Looks like a damn Steyr.
It does resemble that, right? The way that grip angle is.
Looks just like a Steyr.
Yeah.
So which one is this?
That's the Taurus TS9.
Huh.
So it
looks just like a Steyr.
The Steyr quite a bit, which is kind of interesting because I'm noticing a lot of these new guns that are coming out, they're starting to use that angle on the grip a lot. And I think they've finally realized that you just eat up the grip more and you can get higher onto that that barrel, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Mateo's saying it does look like an FMK a little bit too, and it does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's like an FMK and a Steyr had a baby.
Yeah, I don't. You know, I know. He also brought up the Canik. I am officially done with Canik, fellas. I'm done.
Did you see 17? Did you see Wicked's comment?
I can only imagine. Hold on. You know, Wicked, fucking fuck you. That's all I can say. Michael.
This is wrong.
We can get around Michael J. Fox. Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
That's bad.
You know, it's funny because you know, Mateo's the first one to criticize. I guarantee you he's probably 600 pounds, eats fucking ice cream, probably hasn't seen his dick in at least 10 years. You know, the usual. He probably can't even wipe his ass. But I want to see what he says. That's why I said it.
Oh my God, get a room.
He's gonna light it up.
CWB, we love these chats too. We do for sure.
Yes, we do.
Matter of fact, this chat's going to be coming to an end here, fellas. And
that's right. And clearly we've all gotten to know each other entirely too well.
Mateo is 6 feet 240, but he forgot to mention that was 15 years ago.
Man, I wish I was 240.
He's going to snap my neck like a number 2 pencil.
Oh, good times.
All right. We all need to hug it out. That's all. That's what needs to happen. Y'all need to hug it out.
Oh, it's all in good fun.
Oh, yeah. Hugs all around.
All right, guys. So we're going to finish this up right now. You guys have anything that you'd like to say? Some closing comments?
Well, I'm going to be having the stainless steel guide rod shoot for the PPQ and the P07. So that'll be out. I'm going to try to get it done by this weekend and get that out. And I'm going to shoot this Tactical Sport Orange. I'm going to shoot the hell out of it. And probably just take some, you know, couple of guns. I'm not taking the whole deal, but I'm going to take a couple of guns and just run them and see how they do.
I got a couple things in the works, but I am going to take that stock versus not stock to the interwebs and see what kind of shitstorm I can drudge up with that. That'll be exciting. See how many thumbs down I can get with that video. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But as always, we love having you guys on this. It's always a blast, and keep it coming, man. It's a ton of fun. We appreciate every single one of you guys.
Yes, we do.
All right, so my next new gun review will probably be in about 2.5 years. So hopefully you guys will still be around. You know, I don't really have much else going on. I think I'm going to start trying to do some custom stuff. I think I'm going to try to customize the PO1 a little bit this summer. I know that Pops did that 3-hour special on his. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to do that. I very limited gunsmithing ability, that's for sure. And because I have Michael J. Fox's issue, apparently. Thanks. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys showing up. Again, remember, guys, if we give each other a hard time, this is not serious stuff, unless, you know, Wicked has a real issue, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't. But, you know, we do this all in good fun. I mean, that's all it's about. You know, if you can't joke around, you know, what's the point? I mean, you can't take yourselves too seriously in this crap. So other than that, I think we had a good show, fellas, and hopefully you guys will be around next time. And I think, who's got it next time? Is it UKS?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, cool. And so we'll see you guys then, and you know, stay tuned.
Yep.
Good night, everybody. Carry on.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
Later.
Thanks.